San Francisco, where ambition and technology thrived, was the playground for Ethan Coleman, a tech prodigy who turned his gaming startup, PixelVerse Studios, into a global phenomenon. Known for creating immersive, lifelike gaming worlds, Ethan's name was whispered among the tech elite. Yet, despite his professional success, Ethan lived modestly, valuing simplicity over extravagance. But his personal life? That was a different story. At 29, Ethan had struggled to find genuine connections. Women he dated often saw him as a CEO rather than a person, leaving him disillusioned about love. One evening, curiosity led him to try Tinder. His profile was deliberately low-key. No mention of PixelVerse, just candid photos of him hiking, playing chess, and enjoying life simply. His bio was equally humble. Adventure seeker, gamer at heart, and pancake connoisseur. Let's keep it real. Among a flood of matches, one stood out: Sophia. Her radiant smile and confident bio intrigued him. Lover of fine art, travel junkie, and hopeless romantic. Swipe right if you can keep up. Their conversations were engaging and lively, sparking a connection. After days of texting, Ethan asked Sophia out for coffee, choosing a quaint diner to keep things simple. However, this was more than a casual date. It was a test. Ethan wanted to know if Sophia valued him for who he truly was. The diner smelled of fresh coffee and sizzling bacon when Ethan arrived early. He chose a worn booth, dressed in his usual jeans and a t-shirt. When Sophia walked in, her sophistication stood out against the diner's casual charm. "It's quaint," she remarked, glancing at the checkered floors and jukebox. Ethan laughed it off, ordering pancakes and coffee. Their conversation started light, but soon, Sophia's distracted glances and disinterest in Ethan's modest preferences became apparent. When he shared his dream of camping in Patagonia, her response, "Not exactly my scene," confirmed his doubts. The evening ended awkwardly. As Sophia left, she hugged Ethan briefly, muttering, "Thanks for coffee." But the real blow came when Ethan found a note she'd scribbled on a napkin. "Hope your pancakes were worth it. Next time, pick a place that doesn't scream broke." "Good luck, loser." Ethan's chest tightened. The sting of her words was less about the insult and more about the realization that she saw only what she wanted to see, a facade. But Ethan wasn't one to dwell on disappointment. He decided it was time to take matters into his own hands. A week later, Sophia received an exclusive invitation to a high-profile gaming event. The email came from a sender she didn't recognize, and the venue, a renowned luxury hotel in the heart of the city, piqued her curiosity. The invite was non-transferable, labeled as an exclusive opportunity to network with the gaming industry's elite. Sophia, eager to attend such a prestigious event, saw this as a chance to mingle with influential people and open doors to new opportunities. On the night of the event, Sophia stepped out of her car, a vision of elegance in her designer gown. The venue was breathtaking, with chandeliers casting golden light on the marble floors and an air of sophistication filling the grand ballroom. Industry leaders, tech innovators, and celebrities filled the space, each sipping champagne and chatting in animated groups. Sophia felt a surge of excitement as she realized just how exclusive this gathering was. As she mingled, introducing herself to various attendees and exchanging pleasantries, the room suddenly hushed. A murmur rippled through the crowd as everyone turned their attention toward the stage. Ethan stepped onto the platform, his presence commanding the room. He was dressed impeccably in a tailored suit, exuding confidence and charisma. Gone was the modest jeans and t-shirt look Sophia remembered from the diner. In his place stood a man who belonged to this world of luxury and influence, a man who held the attention of everyone in the room. Sophia froze mid-sip of her champagne, her heart pounding. It was Ethan. But not the Ethan she had dismissed so easily that night at the diner. This was Ethan Coleman, the prodigy behind PixelVerse Studios, the very name that now buzzed through the crowd. "Thank you all for being here tonight," Ethan began, his voice steady and rich with authority. It's a privilege to stand before some of the most talented and innovative minds in our industry. Over the years, I've learned a great deal, not just about technology, but about people. His gaze swept the room, pausing briefly when it landed on Sophia. Her cheeks burned as their eyes met, and she quickly averted her gaze, clutching her clutch bag like a lifeline. Ethan continued, his tone taking on a reflective note. Too often we make snap judgments. We assess people based on surface-level impressions, how they look, what they wear, where they dine, and we assume we know their story. But assumptions can be misleading. They can blind us to what really matters. The audience nodded along, some clapping softly in agreement. Ethan paused for a moment, his expression sharpening. This past week I conducted a small social experiment. I wanted to see how people treated someone they believed had nothing to offer them. The results were enlightening. The room erupted in applause, but Sophia felt the ground beneath her wobble. She understood the implications of his words. Every syllable felt like it was directed at her. Her chest tightened as guilt and humiliation crashed over her. She wanted to melt into the floor, but her feet were rooted in place. With the crowd still applauding, she decided to make her exit, quietly weaving through the sea of guests. But just as she reached the edge of the room, Ethan's voice cut through the buzz, firm and unmistakable. "Sophia." She froze, her stomach sinking. Slowly, she turned to face him. He was looking directly at her now, his expression unreadable but calm. She forced a smile, her voice trembling. "Ethan, I didn't know you were—" "A loser?" Ethan interrupted, his tone sharp but controlled. He raised an eyebrow, his eyes narrowing slightly. Sophia stammered, trying to find the right words. "That's not— I didn't mean—" Ethan held up a hand, stopping her mid-sentence. "Don't worry about it," he said evenly. "You made your feelings pretty clear that night." His gaze was steady, and his words, though calm, carried an unmistakable finality. "Good luck, Sophia." And with that, he turned and walked away, leaving her standing there, speechless and painfully aware of the gulf between them. Later that evening, as the event continued, Sophia couldn't shake the weight of her actions. Every word Ethan had spoken echoed in her mind, amplifying the shame that now consumed her. She watched him from a distance, mingling with executives, his smile genuine and his laughter easy. It was clear he was in his element, respected and admired by everyone around him. Summoning every ounce of courage, Sophia decided to approach him. Her heart raced as she navigated through the crowd, finally stopping a few feet away. "Ethan," she said softly, her voice barely audible above the hum of the room. He turned to face her, his expression neutral but guarded. "Sophia," he acknowledged, his tone devoid of warmth. "Can we talk? Alone?" she asked hesitantly, her fingers clutching her bag tighter. He hesitated for a moment, then nodded curtly. "Fine." They moved to a quieter corner of the venue. Ethan leaned casually against the wall, his arms crossed, his gaze steady but distant. "What do you want, Sophia?" Her hands trembled as she searched for the right words. "Ethan, I wanted to apologize for everything. I was wrong, so wrong. I judged you unfairly, and I hurt you. I don't even know where to start making it right." He let out a short laugh, shaking his head. "Making it right? Sophia, you didn't just misjudge me. You dismissed me, humiliated me, and now you think an apology fixes that?" Tears welled in her eyes as she shook her head. "I know it doesn't. I know I don't deserve your forgiveness, but please, Ethan, I want a chance to show you I'm not that person, that I've realized how shallow I was and that I want to change." Ethan's expression hardened, his voice sharp. "Change? You didn't see me for who I am. You saw what you wanted to see. And now, because you know I'm not some guy who stocks shelves, you're suddenly interested? That's not about me, Sophia. That's about you." "No," she pleaded, tears spilling down her cheeks. "It's not like that. It's not about your success. It's about realizing how blind I was and how much I let my assumptions control me. I don't care about PixelVerse or your money. I care about you, Ethan." His gaze softened slightly, but his stance remained firm. Do you? Or do you care about what you missed out on? Either way, Sophia, I've moved on. I don't need someone in my life who only sees my worth after a grand reveal. Her face crumpled as his words sank in. Ethan, please. Give me one chance. Just one. I'll prove I'm different. He shook his head slowly. No, Sophia. You've already shown me who you are, and I've learned to trust actions over words. Ethan's eyes lingered on her for a moment before he straightened, his tone softening slightly but remaining resolute. I hope you do change, Sophia, but that's your journey, not mine. I wish you well. Without another word, he walked away, leaving her standing alone, tears streaming down her face, the weight of her choices pressing down like a stone.